Hey everyone, this is Justin with MyManJustin's Collectible Emporium, and I am your man for Pokemon cards, card analysis, and Pokemon investment and collecting consulting. Today I'm just going to talk about a couple of things. First, my weekly auctions this week on my store, just going to showcase some of those cards, talk about them a little bit. Also, I'm going to talk about non-card related collectibles, and you can see here behind me I've got a bunch of different items that I just recently purchased that are non-cards, but I think are still some nice accessories for the hobby that people are going to be interested in. And I also just wanted to show off some more insight I found. In a prior video, I talked about a pro tip being buying these older pricing guides and being able to kind of get some insight on cards you might not have heard of. Just for example, this one here shows this complete vending promo. And the vending promo cards are Japanese only releases, but there's some really nice artwork, especially like this hollow Articuno here. And there's some more goes on. They're certainly more rare in the market. I mean, you're only going to be able to find these in private sales, like on eBay, and they're usually pretty few and far in between, and they can carry some high price tags. And that's kind of how it is with Japanese cards. Japanese cards, on a whole, are not as valuable as their English counterparts, but there are a selection of Japanese cards that are much more valuable than English cards. Some of the, like the Illustrator Pikachu, is the most expensive card out there, and it's Japanese only release. So there is other cards like that, like the Daisuke Club promotional cards that are given away by points. And so those are just some examples. But I want to talk about some of these toys in a sec. First, I'll just talk about real quick the cards that are going up for auction. And the way I choose cards for auction is just cards. If a card doesn't have a really set price, it doesn't have a consistent selling price over the past month or two on eBay, and if it's an especially, expensive card, and when I say expensive, I mean over $30 or $40, and somewhat desirable, and a special Pokemon here like this Dialga Silver, all silver card. This one I put up for auction this week. I have this Charizard, and this is the kind of card that's good for auction because it's Charizard full art. There's always people looking to complete their Charizard collections, and since it's in really good condition, that's the kind of card that you want to let people choose the value of, because when you get into cards like this, the condition is going to be the major differentiation on the price that it sells for. And this one is pretty much mint condition. The only thing that's going to prevent it from PSA 10 is that it's off-centered. So that'll be taken into consideration by the people bidding on it. But otherwise, a very nice card. This Palkia, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Call of Legends card. It's a shiny Palkia. Really cool card. I decided to put this one up for auction just to kind of see what it goes for, see what kind of interest there is in these older shiny cards, see how many people are even looking for them or aware of them, and how much just interest it gains. There's a few other of them that I'm just sending straight to PSA and gonna see what kind of grades they get, because they're in really nice condition. Here's a Rockets Raikou. This one I put up because the EX Team Rocket Return set is a really popular set. This actually isn't part of EX Team Rocket Returns, it's part of EX Deoxys, but it's a secret rare, and it actually completes the kind of the legendary dog sets that is in EX Team Rocket Returns, because there is a Rockets Entei and a Rockets Suicune. So I think people collecting that set, which is really popular right now, are going to be interested in that card. Here's this Time Space Distortion. This actually probably isn't going to be above $30 or $40, but it's a secret rare, and I just want to see what kind of interest it gains. And I like to be able to put cards up for auction on my store, because I like to kind of increase engagement, and it makes it fun for the buyers to be able to bid for their cards and win it in that manner. This card, being an older EX card, it's going to generate interest, and being mint near mint, it was a card I was even considering grading, but I'm going to let it go, see what happens with it. And here we have the Sabrina's Gengar. This is one of the more sought after Woods Coast Era cards. Another mint near mint card. Now here we have these two, the Charizard EX I'm sending to PSA because EX older Charizards are just, even if they get PSA 7, I think it's good to have it in a case. So these two are going to be pretty high demand, and we're going to let the bidders decide what they go for. And they are from EX Fire Red Leaf Green. Here is probably going to, I think this is going to be the most expensive card this week. It's a Dragonite EX. It's just a really great card. It's in mint to near mint condition. I think it's going to attract a lot of people. Artwork's great. Older EX getting super popular. People are moving to this era. People want these cards right now. This Espeon is one of the more sought after Espeon cards in the hobby. The Neo Discovery, also alongside the Umbreon, which is I think even a tad bit better of an artwork. And finally this shiny Gyarados. So that's what I have this week for my auctions. It's not like something, they're not super crazy cards this week. I think it'll attract more people. It's not like last week where I was selling off PSA graded Shining cards and Gold Star cards, which together I think sold for around $3,000. So last week was a really big weekend in general. I think overall I moved about $5,000 worth of cards. And that's just a testament to the hobby and the market right now. I think it's something good to understand that the Pokemon market is really healthy. I think it speaks to the kind of economy in general. Despite what you might hear by doom and gloomers, people in this economy, I think people are waking up to the idea of using their money to buy things that have value and not just money. That people don't want to just stack up money anymore. We've seen things like gold are increasing in value. Countries are repatriating gold. I recently just made a huge investment in gold myself. I'm actually able to, it's a card where I get to spend with money backed in gold. So when I spend something on it, I'm actually spending in gold, which is pretty cool, I thought. And this just speaks to the idea of the current way the market is kind of transforming. It's turning into a value-based market. And with things like art, things that are not reproducible, they have a kind of intrinsic value that is going to differ depending on the person. But with the Pokemon hobby having such staying power, being a strong force for 20 years now, and increasing in demand and value over time, I think it's a really healthy trajectory, and it's only going to get more realized. I mean, like I've talked about with the EX sets, they're increasing in value now because more people are venturing out into the hobby, more people are getting more adventurous and finding out how great and how widespread the different artworks and the cards are, and they're going even deeper now. We're seeing cards like in the black and white series increase in value, and I think that just speaks to the fact that these people that got into it and are in it are branching out and getting more stable and immersed into the hobby as a whole. So that's all good things for the Pokemon market, I think, and I don't think there's going to be much of a change. I think with the whole idea with the gold I was talking about, just the whole direction of this new economy is going to favor products itself as investments rather than things like stocks or just having your investment in money itself and just stocks and bonds and having wealth that way. I think this new direction for wealth is going to be in value, in products that actually have value, like gold, like Pokemon cards, things of that nature. So with that being said, I'm just going to move on to this next kind of aspect of the hobby, which includes action figures, toys, memorabilia. And here I wanted to show you these. These are actually Wizards of the Coast branded Pokemon League pins. They're from the year 2000, and they are the original pins. I believe that's the Johto region, Kanto. And so they're really cool that they represent all the different badges that you get when you defeat the gym leaders of various gyms. And I think they're pretty iconic as a whole, and they will also speak to the collectors and investors that are buying Wizards of the Coast era products, and those are going to be the most valuable era of products, and these are in that era. So they're going to have that vintage nostalgic value, and I think it's just really cool, you know, like just from holding them, you know, you kind of feel that sense of, you know, what you get when you ascend through the league and become masters of gym leader. Here's the rainbow badge here, and it's just it's like a tangible object that represents your success in a specific domain in the Pokemon world. And I've kind of talked about that a little deeper in my metaphysics and philosophy of Pokemon, but these are just objects that represent that journey. So also here I have some of these action figures. This one happens to be sealed. It's by Hasbro, and it's a Mew. I think it's, you know, gonna be great for people that are decorating their houses or have like a room specifically for Pokemon, or have, you know, have a Pokemon themed room, or have, you know, kind of like a little shrine, I guess you could say, to put all their favorite Pokemon memorabilia as well as Pokemon cards in one place. And I think these kind of things just kind of complete the whole aesthetic of people and their collecting hobby. So there's also little ones, and there's just so many more that I got. I mean, I got this huge, here, I'll show you a little more. I got this huge, you know, some of these were from Burger King, so I think some of these right here are going to be a little more valuable than the rest, but really cool. Also, here we have this Legend Maker card list. It's kind of cool. It's nostalgic. It's a piece of history in the past. This is actually a cardboard deck box, which is cool. I mean, I think for even modern players to kind of come in to the tournament with their old school fossil card box, I think would probably be pretty cool. Things I picked up, some of their old pricing guide. There wasn't too much insightful things in this one. I got this old school playing mat that you can use as like a little arena, and also this official Pokemon handbook, which this is just more for just appreciation. This just has some kind of cool old school artwork, first, you know, 151 Pokemon in kind of older style art. So that's that. And just to go a little deeper about all the crazy stuff I just got. All different kinds of little toys and figurines. Some Pokeballs. There's some things that squirt water. And here's just a ton of different figures. There's even a mouse up there. All kinds of different Pokemon. So yeah, I'll be listing all of these on my store as well. There's some stuff from like little vending machines as well. And there it is. So that's all I really wanted to share with you today. Just some kind of insight into the non-card collectability of the Pokemon hobby. Here's just a few more I pulled out of that bag. A really nice Gyarados too, with a nice stand on it. So great for decorating, putting up in some kind of formation. Oh, poor Pikachu got no color on him. So yeah, so I hope you got felt that was insightful. Just talking a little bit more about the way the economy is changing, just to kind of understand that. understand how Pokemon is just becoming a really powerful way to invest and to collect and enjoy. And I think a lot of people are realizing that. And like I said, I think it has to do with the bit of the shift in the way people are thinking about as a whole, with the way things have been changing so much lately, because things have been changing very drastically economically in America, at least. And I think it's happening with a lot of countries too. America is not the only country that is now repatriating gold. And when you see things like that, it just speaks to a whole new desire for having money invested in things that are valuable, that have some kind of value and intrinsic worth. Whereas money in itself isn't valuable. It's just something to mark out the worth of something in a trade, but in itself, you can't really use it to do anything else. Where cards and gold, with Pokemon cards, they have the intrinsic value of being able to be played in a game, and they're aesthetically pleasing, so people get satisfaction and enjoyment by collecting, the actual act of collecting in itself, and just simply looking at them, because it brings back memories of when they were younger. It brings back memories of certain events in their life, and just the overall enjoyment of the card itself, and the artwork and the effort put into to a lot of cards is something that has value in it, because you can only get that enjoyment from those cards itself. With gold, things like gold, it's not just shiny. Gold has really strong physical properties for being an excellent conductor, say for electricity. Tons of appliances and electronics use gold to harness that conductibility for electricity. So it's good to have your money invested in things that have some type of worth beyond just being used to trade for other things. And so that's just my 2 cents on this whole kind of situation, and on my weekly auctions and other ways to get into the whole Pokemon hobby itself. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.